No, we started on a high, but there has also been another low on the other side of things, and that is the number of transit-related fatalities. I believe in 4 days, the last 4 days, it's up to 60. So we had, for example, in Kisumu, 26 people from 2 clans passed away. We had the Mwihoko plane incident, air ambulance incident. On the same Thursday, we had it was, I believe, a Kenya Pipeline Company bus collide with a train. So just your thoughts on maybe, what are we not getting right? How can we address this? I know the Standard carried a headline with Davis Churchill on the cover, and the headline was insensitively mute. Your thoughts?
I sympathize with the families. We've lost quite so many people. And in any case, one life lost is too much. On the plane issue, I think they are getting to the root of it. From what I heard, that the investigators were down on site. They got the black box that is able to lead to where the issue started. On the issue of the roads, I'm looking forward to the response by the ministry. Nonetheless, the oversight mandate that NTSA has seems to be losing track. You know, when NTSA was removed from the roads and traffic police were left out, there's something that is not working. Because what happens, there are highs in traffic, in incidences, there are lows. So you find that after these incidents, the president has given a directive, and you know, the roads, they'll begin to follow up on the roads. Remember, we're also on holidays. 2 of the incidences, one on the newspaper today was the AIC Naki High School. The one in Kakamega Road was also a high school bus.
I think it's the same one. It's the one.
It's the same one. Yeah. So you find that now the movement at this point, people get the buses because they're no longer in use in schools and try and get them to do 1 or 2 things. They're from a funeral. And you get a bit concerned because the management of roads is 100% done by the traffic department. But the regulator, the person who imposes how the operations will be, is NTSA. It has always been said there's a rift between the 2 institutions. As a lawmaker, what do I think should be done? The buck stops on the ministry. The ministry has to make sure that we have roads that are safe. Whether it's reducing speed, whether it's managing the roads, whatever it is, or the traffic police, they have to find a solution, because losing lives in this manner, you could have reckless drivers, probably that you can't stop. But you have to find, you see, they say with morals, you might not be able to regulate, but at least you might not be able to stop, but you can regulate. Whatever it is, you can find a way to mitigate. If you were to have 10 fatalities, probably you can reduce to what it should be. But looking at it from the Kenyan perspective, this is not something you say. They have passed on, we sympathize and move on. This one you can't move on. You have to find a perfect solution. So I think there's still a big gap between the traffic police and NTSA. NTSA actually seems to be off hands this issue, and they only come in at the point where the issue has gone on a high. After that, it is left to the traffic department. Is the traffic department managing the roads properly? I think now that is where we have a big gap. In my own opinion, somebody needs to work out on this, and I think Churchill has to make sure that he is keen. If not keen, he must make sure that there is something that he is doing straight from the ministry.
All right. Dr. Olo, there are some who are suspicious and they believe maybe it's just August, and August is like that. But the causes have been different. For example, the incident that was referenced by Mheshimiwa, or the Kisumu Coptic roundabout, residents, listening to the residents react immediately after the accident, after the tragedy, they said, you know, the problem is this roundabout. It needs to be fixed. And the governor was like, no, you know, we need to look into the design of the road. So different causes for the different accidents. Did you expect to hear more from the Ministry of Transport?
Yes and no. And first to say that when you go back to the literature and you look at the Julius Caesar's play and Shakespeare, he talks about beware of March, 15. The Edicts of March, the March 15. I think in this country we are aware that our August comes with quite a bit of fatalities, whether natural, whether accidents. That's something that we should be aware of, both spiritually and also policy and intervention-wise. So it's not out of place to say this is August, because for sure, every August we do experience quite a bit of fatalities, natural, man-made, and so on. And that's our situation. Having said that, it then means that every effort ought to be taken. It's like when sometimes we say, we know it's Easter time, we know people are going to travel, and that the police, the traffic have put in measures to control speed and so on. So there are times when we go into high alert because we know that Kenyans are likely to be traveling. August is similar. And as Mheshimiwa Ngogo is saying, somehow we travel a lot around this time, and then there is alternative bus, means of transport, the school buses. Now, that should also be telling us, are we saying that maybe some of the drivers that we're having, even entrusting with our children in schools, could be having issues where they can't survive on public roads and so on? That's also a policy issue you can look at and say, wait a minute, what is this consistency around the yellow buses and freaky accidents and so on? So we need to come to that and say, we have a systemic problem, let's deal with it. If it's a training issue, let's look at the training issue. If it's a policy issue, let's look at what we need to do. But more importantly, we also need to appeal to ourselves as drivers and as Kenyans. It's time to be sensible. Yeah. I think our roads are, danger, death waiting to happen. I mean, how many times do you drive on the road and you see a border crossing, from the right to the wrong side of the road? There are things we do that are simply reckless. Mm-hmm. And we also need to invite ourselves to take care of lives. Okay. These lives that we live aren't meant to be just lost in terms of our recklessness and, lack of care and so on. So I would invite us to think through as a country, spiritually, think through as a country in terms of policy preparedness and just awareness building and mitigating measures taken.
So it could have something to do with the holidays. It's interesting you brought up border borders. I've been seeing Makau Muto on a campaign to get border borders off the road, but that's another subject matter. On the accidents, Mheshimiwa Sosion, one of the incidents was, I think a lorry was trying to overtake and then collided with a PSV. Just your thoughts in general on...
Yes, I don't want to be metaphysical and to be attracted to metaphysics and beliefs of July and August. And there's a scientist and an empiricist for that matter. We know July and August climatically is when it's extremely cold and people with weak health end up succumbing. But it cannot be that even the roads get sick, that we get many accidents. The fact of the matter is we must be strict with the use of our roads, extremely strict. Because when you're overtaking, wrong side overtaking, and then you get head-on collision, that is clear violation of traffic rules. And this is not just about the CS Transport alone. It is CS Transport and CS Interior. Those two ministries must work together to ensure that the road users are disciplined. Where there is no discipline, we get things getting out of hand. So I think Kenyans should be disciplined in the use of roads. When we end up losing, violating our traffic rules, then the only product we can have is accidents, left, right, and center. And give credit to improvement of roads. Over the last the last 22 years, our roads are now far much better, trafficable, safe, and why then do we violate and break laws? There were times that we should put electronic monitoring systems in all our roads rather than use the traffic police, so that you can fine and ticket the road users. And I think we need to get to that level, like what happens. Those of us who have traveled to many jurisdictions, like the US, even if you are alone at a traffic light, and the lights have indicated that you don't cross, you will not cross. But here in Kenya, people cross. They don't follow the traffic lights and traffic rules, and we find it normal And when we get these accidents getting to that level, then now we begin thinking metaphysical. I think it is wrong. Let us be responsible as citizens. And I think it is time the Ministry of Transport revolutionizes the road supervision and management system. We can't do with humans only. It is not going to work.
All right.
That we have a huge NTSA with so many people, we have so many traffic police officers. Technology is going to solve many things. And in fact, the country can make a lot of revenue from those violating the traffic rules. So I think we need to move to the next level. When you are talking about transformation of the country, let us transform how we do things everywhere, and even how we operate on our roads. We must revolutionize. If we think revolutionary, we'll have things changing. Get the traffic police off the road and put a technology that is effective, that is sustainable, and that can nap everybody. We will not talk about accidents anyway.
All right. Fred, have the last word on this subject before we get into politics, terms, and agenda.
I think while we can argue that August is Kenya's cruelest month, particularly on the road accident, but it's also true that most of these accidents are caused by human error, particularly overspeeding, reckless driving. And there's also the element of reluctance from the regulator's side, where we see they're not very keen sometimes. They only react when there's an accident. Like now, I'm sure you'll start seeing them reacting to this. It's unfortunate. But one of the important things that we must note is that every time you read the National Ethics and Corruption Survey, you'll always find elements of bribery reported as a cause in some of these issues, particularly from the police service. So we still have some work to do in terms of ensuring that we are ethical. Number two, Honorable Sosion has said something. In developed countries, you don't even need a police officer or a traffic regulator to tell you what to do. When it is green, go, red, stop. And you notice that things work. But in our country, maybe because we are developing, we still need a police officer to drive your car from outside as you drive it from inside. It's very unfortunate. And then the issues of border that you have mentioned, they are very good means of transport. They are quicker, faster, save you time. However, if not regulated, again, they just appear from nowhere. If you go to a country like our neighbor here in Uganda, just go to Kampala one day, you will see, I don't even know how they manage it. The border, when they are crossing the road at rush hour, they are in thousands. And you hardly see accidents. I don't know. But we are saying we must now start looking into how we can regulate our transport system. We can conform within the laws. We can actually do it in a manner that everyone is happy and everyone benefits. But it's unfortunate that we still have deaths as statistics as a result of road accidents.
All right, so we will take a break. But when we come back, politics, terms, and agenda, we look at a number of things. The proposed compensation framework for persons either maimed or bereaved as a result of protests. We'll also discuss the empowerment program that we saw at the State House over the weekend, as well as the IEBC's announcement on by-elections. Yeah, so lots to get into. See you on the other side.